The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 11th day of January, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, MMAC, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Larry Marshall Jr. And Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Happy 2023 to you, my brother. First time this year.
Yes, good morning. Happy to be back. Good morning to everybody. Hope the new year is started well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some people it started better than others. I mean, somebody in here started it again with COVID, I think. So, but it weren't one of us. I'm just glad she's doing better. I ain't calling it chair. But yeah, how was your holiday break, man?
My holiday break was hectic. I worked a lot, but I was also able to be off for the important days. You know, Christmas morning, getting to be with my family was great as always, and just balancing that mixture. You know, I wish I could have did a few more things, but so good.
Yeah. No, I hear you, bro. I hear you, but I like that family thing, making sure you got that time in with family, folks.
Yeah.
Good morning to you as well, Marcia, Robin, Patrice Bradshaw, and good morning to you, Michelle White. Greetings, everyone, and thank you so much for making us part of your daily routine. We do have another good one for you today. We're welcoming John Huff of the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Re-insurers, better known as ABIR. He's back on the show. We're going to be discussing the partnership with the Bermuda College and the virtual course that they're doing for a third year in a row. The daily play is music today, so it's... they're 0 for 2 this year, Sancha and Sherry, and let's see if, Larry can slow it up and get a victory for them today, folks. It's not looking too good so far.
Switched it up. Switched it up on 2023.
I ain't do nothing. The only thing I stopped doing is asking questions about Christmas, because you all seem to have that done.
So I'm wondering, right? How come that I need a joke, Hartman? Like, how come that I'm on is no jokes?
Man, I
will entertain it.
You know what? We're gonna do a joke when Maya comes on for the news break. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it. Somebody asks for a joke, people.
That's right.
Because sometimes the ladies.
I encourage this feeling. I encourage it.
Yeah, thank you, brother. We're getting a joke. We're gonna give you a joke. Nice pick me up. Because thank you. You found Monday's joke funny.
It was fun. I was at work laughing.
Maya and Sherry sitting there like, don't y'all? You know what the problem is? They don't have a sense of humor. That's what it is. They don't have a sense of humor.
It better be funny today, though.
Now you're putting me under pressure. If this is your first time tuning in, please don't let it be your last. The show is now available live on our website, thedailyhour.com. So, folks, you no longer need social media to tune into us live. If Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you can still watch on there. You can also comment on Facebook and YouTube, but you can watch live. So it's just like going to any of your favorite websites. Just go on and hit play, and you can watch this show live every time we are on. If you haven't already, please subscribe on our website and follow us on our social media channels. But without further ado, we've got another important community conversation that we need to have today, folks. Another important community conversation. We've got someone else, Sean DeShields, he's saying, please try taking some joke medication so that your jokes are actually funny. So I think he likes my jokes.
Yeah.
I think he likes my jokes. See, Michelle, she wants the jokes. I'm gonna get you all a joke. I am.
Give the people what the people want.
Yes, yes. And good morning to you too, Auntie Karen. So we put a question up on our Instagram page yesterday, folks. We put a question up, and it was there's a lot been spoken about. The One Bermuda Alliance leader Cole Simons recently spoke about the sugar tax, get rid of it. The numbers have been released year after year about Bermuda and obesity and having an overweight population or unhealthy population. And, I'm a believer that it starts with each and every one of us. I don't want to sit here and make excuses for anything, but I know last year was one of my worst years in terms of taking care of myself. And I'm not here to blame my mother's death. To me, we deal with grief differently. But that's not an excuse. To me, it should have pushed me and inspired me to want to do better. But again, we deal with things differently. Some people, the way they deal with COVID, something like COVID. I had COVID last year, April, May. That took me away from wanting to, be as active and eat right. But I say that because it was a very unhealthy year, and a lot of whatever I go through, I know the responsibility I have to take care of myself and do better. So the question of the morning for the audience is very simple. How can we develop a healthier population? And why is it population? Because, we speak about high insurance costs, right? We speak about, the price of groceries and eating healthy. And a lot of this stuff we can probably do if we have the resources and space ourselves. All it takes is my sister has inspired me. She doesn't even know she's inspired me, but she's been teaching my niece since my niece was out of the womb how to grow her own food. My sister don't have no yard, but she's gotten little pots to grow stuff in, whether it's greens or fruit. She's used pots, so she's been very creative with it. Learning how to grow your own food is important, right?
Yeah.
Knowing how to shop on budgets and eat healthy. Let's go through some of we'll go through some of the comments that came back on Instagram. But the question of the morning, how can we develop a healthier population? And a healthier population will probably drive costs down on a lot of things, especially healthcare, or at least it should, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Burp? You come from a physical education space, a health conscious space.
Yes. It's quite interesting because as you spoke, it gave me an opportunity to go over my journey last year, and I like you struggled a bit, especially towards the end of last year. The between the shift work, trying to do family stuff, and then everyone in the house got sick. And once everyone in the house got sick, the eating get bad, and then lack of sleep. And if anyone knows, or if you don't know, you can learn now. It's about rest, good eating, and being active. And I think when you get those things regularly in your life, positive things will happen. Now it depends on what results you're looking for. That determines the intensity or the sport or the activity that you're trying to do. But a vulnerable moment is like right now, I'm struggling with the exercise portion. But what can I control? I started to really work on trying to get my sleep in. And since the new year, I've really tightened up my diet. I really, really, really like that. For me, went bad the last 2 months of the year. And you start feeling your clothes to fit different
Mhm.
and going like that. But I think I I don't want to go too deep with the well at a macro level because that legislation, funding, all those types of different things. But what can we control? And I
Mhm.
think as you touched on, we can control what we do.
Mhm. Mm. And I think a lot of it comes down to accountability. Let's go through some of the answers on Instagram that we got on our Instagram stories. So on Instagram, we asked the same question. We asked, how can we develop a healthier population? And one of the responses was through education, not taxation. Well, I think that's a shot at the sugar tax. But I believe most things can happen through education, not taxation. Not even just through not taxation, but through education, not penalties, I guess, per se, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's not penalize people. Let's educate. If you educate people, you don't have to penalize them, or you shouldn't have to penalize them, right?
Yeah.
So I like that response. Another response we got to how can we develop a healthier population was offer tax concessions to health conscious businesses. That was interesting, right? So if a business, let's say someone starts a fried chicken business, well, they wouldn't get a tax concession. But if someone, and I know the brother, he just moved to the aquarium, I forget the name of the business, but that would be a health conscious business, right? Maybe offer them tax breaks that others won't get. I actually like that idea.
Yeah.
That, folks, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. That I don't think it should have to do with anything with government. Let me be clear. But if it was, I actually like that idea. What are your thoughts on that one, Brett?
Yeah, I definitely think I look in a space where who would that benefit? And obviously, the first people that come to mind are food vendors or grocery stores or those types of places. But what about fitness people and what would that tax break look like for them? I'm all for it because we can't continue with this punitive approach
Yeah,
of okay, higher tax, because it's not working. I mean, you put a higher tax on
correct.
and the chocolates are still next to the cashier at the grocery store. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like we know that in countries where we're not taking it serious, that stuff's way in the back. They're promoting healthy. So taxation without a plan also I think becomes an issue.
Mhm.
And I'm all for the reductions or the breaks.
Mhm.
I would just like to know how we can do it evenly, but I think that is something that we definitely can get on board with.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Question of the morning: how can we develop a healthier population? Let's go to the audience. Trevor and Trotty for you, Brett.
A chef to show us how to make our favorite local foods healthier. Okay.
Hmm.
Not
What?
even just local, I think all foods.
Yeah, but I think she's saying let's start with local food, like because Bermudians love, let's say, what's a healthier version of fried fish?
Grilled fish.
Grilled fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe grilled fish sandwich with bread that's a bit healthier. I don't
Yeah.
know.
One slice of bread,
Yeah,
collard greens in between, like they have those types of yeah.
maybe a wrap instead of the bread, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sean DeShield says the sugar tax was a complete fleece in the public initiative, as there is no data to suggest that there's a direct correlation between the sugar tax implementation and healthy business trends. Yes, understood. But how can we develop a healthier population is the question. How can we develop a healthier population? Michelle White says, yes, tax breaks for healthy choices would be a great start. Yes, including fitness businesses, equipment, clothing, food, etc. I like that. I like that. Again, question of the morning, folks. How can we develop a healthier population? We agree. We've spoken about the sugar tax before. Cole Simons has mentioned it. That's not what we're discussing this one. We're simply discussing solutions. How can we develop a healthier population?
I
How,
like to touch on
yeah.
I like to touch on something that I think most people don't go. No matter what it is you're doing,
Mhm.
don't throw it away easy.
Mhm.
We work very hard to get to a certain level. We are happy and we get content,
Mhm.
and we throw it away easy. And each time it becomes harder. If you have a level of fitness, if your sleep is at a certain level, if you're eating well and you see certain results, hold on to it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like we get to a place of I'm a pick on the latest right now, the summer body, or the doing all that, and then come and they stop exercising, they stop eating, they stop doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
And that speaks to a bigger thing about not committing to the lifestyle rather than doing it for a reason in the short term.
Mhm.
But I always try to tell people, you have a level of fitness, don't throw it away. You worked
Yeah.
hard for that.
Yeah.
You cannot throw it away.
But you know what I want to touch on? You make a very good point I didn't even think of, like getting carnival ready and all that stuff, right? You're inspired enough to do it. It's just about keeping it up. And, Ernie, my wife knows this at this point in my life, but, I've never been inspired to like get in shape or lose weight to look a certain way. I've always done it because my doctor said my blood pressure was high, or like it's always been something to do with my physical or knowing that I have one thing that's pretty shallow is that I literally just can't afford a new wardrobe.
Yeah,
So I
that
like
be it.
seriously, like I can't afford clothes. So I literally don't use a scale. I based on how I fit in my clothes is how I manage my weight. But I say that because I'm a person who doesn't need a workout to have a six pack, even at my age still. So, like for me, if I'm staying like in shape, then and healthy, and I go to my doctor, get a good report, it's not about looking a certain way to me. It's really about knowing that when I go, it's like going to the teacher with your test at the end of the year, like you want a good grade. That's how I treat
Yep.
my life. I'm going to get my annual physical and checkups, and the doctor saying, okay, your cholesterol is back, normal, and so on. That's what inspires me. I think what you just said, Bert, though, is so many people work on that summer body, work on being carnival ready, right? They have it within them.
Yeah.
They have it
Have
within
it
them.
within them. And once you get it, like I said, I see it so often, and you throw it away, and then you become frustrated because each time, and it goes. And folks, this happens with me, the runner, the former, this, whatever you want to say, it happens with me, and I struggle with it. But when I get a level of fitness, I don't throw it away just because I don't feel like it. Something
Yeah.
usually happens, which I have to find a way to deal with because as I get older, it still becomes a bit more difficult.
Mhm.
But whatever your motivation is, hold on to it.
Yeah.
Find that inner space or that inner being in your body that allows you to do it. And then the second piece is finding a way to maintain. Life happens,
Mhm.
stress,
Mhm.
work. This does how do we maintain? Does that mean twice a week?
I'm, I'm,
Working
gonna,
out versus five.
I'm gonna tell you what you told me some years ago. I had got a Fitbit for Christmas about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, right? And you were telling me, hey, get a Garmin. The Garmin watch changed my life. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with you. A Garmin watch changed. I don't usually do Christmas gifts. I'm not big on. I'm big on family, but my immediate family, everyone got a Garmin watch this year, right? Monitoring each other's fitness and steps, and it's fun. It's really fun. But also something that Larry said that we forget yesterday or day before when Sherry and I were speaking, and I said between Christmas and New Year's, I would have thought were my most unproductive week I've ever had as an adult. Then I said, no, it wasn't unproductive. It was extremely productive. I caught up on well-needed rest. I relaxed. I was rejuvenated. I'm got energy now. Rest is productivity. And with the Garmin watch, managing my sleep and stress has been so important for everything I do. As I told Larry before we came on, right? I ran this morning, went 3 miles, right? Set records in terms of time and distance. And tell him what you said to me immediately when I said that to you.
make sure you rest. If you're going, it's the furthest you went, it's the fastest you went, so it's took a toll on your body. You need to make sure you rest. Probably just don't even run tomorrow at all.
And let me tell you why that's important, folks. Now, he don't have as much time as he did before, but he used to monitor me on my Garmin and like comment and give me feedback. So I told him this morning. But I tell you what, if he wouldn't have said that, I'd have probably been out trying to beat that 3 miles tomorrow. I'm not an expert at this. And I think it's important for us with everything we're talking about. Dr. Armani Flood said when she was on, consult a professional, speak to your general practitioner, your doctor, consult a nutritionist, a dietitian. We're not experts. What we're
Yep.
doing is having a conversation is how can we improve our population? Let's get to the audience. How can we develop a healthier population? Michelle White says, healthy cooking advice. Too often there are menus, but contains food that we don't eat or like. Sean DeShield says, provide healthy living classes at primary school level. Sheree Dill has a good one here. We need a cultural shift, prioritize holistic, active lifestyles, minimize stress, get outside and be active more, healthy environment, and subsidize healthy food / produce if possible. Right now, common healthy food and activities are costly. Make things more accessible for cheap or free.
Yep.
Um, I want to touch on what she said about making things accessible, cheap or free. So I purposely haven't been to the gym this year, right? And I'm a person who loves doing weights. But I haven't been because I've been trying to say, you know what? I want to see if I can do things without having to pay for a gym membership, even though I don't have to. And so you go on, get some $20 weights on Amazon or wherever, go around people's, whatever, wherever you want. And or just do some push-ups.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is it doesn't have to be cost you anything.
It's tons. They got the railway trails. You know what I mean? You can go for a walk. If you want to go mornings in a well lit up area, go down Front Street or up National Stadiums when the lights are on. It's plenty of things. It doesn't have to be you don't have to take a spinning class or join a gym to do it. If that's your thing, then yes, go
Yeah.
ahead and do it. Some people need that level of accountability, and pain does that. So we're not against it. I actually want to, and I said, you know what, let me hold off because I don't want to, gym membership in Bermuda that cost is high.
Yeah.
And right now I can just do without that. So, I completely agree with Ms. Dio's comment, because it touched on so many different things that I think encompass what we are trying to say.
Yeah, indeed. Let's go through a couple more comments on Instagram. How can we develop a healthier population? Someone said physical education at all levels in senior school, not just half credits worth. I didn't even know that they didn't do jam like how they did it when I was in school. And then another person says, land for growing food as co-op plots and reward farmers who engage in it. Supply seedings free. I love that.
We really need to and that it segues into other things. That is something that if my politician came across me, I'm talking to him about stuff like that and saying, why isn't this happening? And putting pressure. And the more and more that happens, they'll start looking into stuff like that, because that has to happen. Those types of things, if we are serious, those types of things need to happen.
Yeah, yeah. One last one is, how can we develop a healthier population? Comment says, we all need to focus on our own family relationships. I'd like more explanation on what that means, because it does impact us all, as stated.
It's a level of stress.
Yeah, it is. Let's go through these last few comments. We've got to bring Maya in. Don't forget, we have John Huff from ABIR coming on, speaking about that great relationship they have with Bermuda College and a very important course for Bermuda and Bermudians. Sheikha Rena says, make it fun and or social. Well, let's use the carnival and soca trend in Bermuda. To me, they have made fitness fun and social. Whether it's your thing or not, but is it called the Bacchanal run and all that stuff? To me, it's fitness. I've seen people share on social media after, what's the parade of bands or march of bands, whatever it's called, during the carnival. I've seen them share their steps and how many calories they burn. So I agree. Make it fun and social, and people don't even realize what they're doing.
You also have trainers that hold classes like for carnival prep, like measure the distance, to get people ready so the body can handle the walk and the dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed. We've got Traveling Trotty says free blood pressure machines in pharmacies and stores. And I like that idea because, again, I've been inspired to get in shape. If I go to my doctor, says your blood pressure's high, I monitor mine. If I go and they say cholesterol's high, I monitor. So that's what I'm inspired to. That's what inspires me to move. Traveling Trotty says bike lanes are needed. Sean Smith says a lot of us do not take into account the cleaning products we use to clean the house and what it does to our health. Oh, indeed.
Yes. Even the soaps and your lotions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's a totally different. It's within it. But we can branch out to that, and it could be another show within itself.
Indeed. And let's go through these last two comments because I don't want to get in trouble with Maya. We're already there. I'm looking at the comments. Karen Simmons says, I'm looking at the comments about integrating health, physical, nutrition, education in school. And I'm frustrated because that has been eroded over the last 10 to 15 years, almost non-existent.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, again, I don't
remember
when I was in school.
We know. We used to work together at school.
Charles H. Jeffers II says the start would be to encourage through peer groups and social clubs going to the doctor for annual physicals and eating right, maybe a membership discount with proof of recent annual physicals. I love that.
Yeah, great idea.
And I love this show. This is what we're about, folks. Yeah. This is what we're about. Let's bring Maya in. It's time for it's Maya time, folks. It's been Maya time, but we're a bit behind. Don't go anywhere after the news break. We've got John Huff, another important community conversation. But I'd like to see what Maya life fitness. She's an athlete. I mean, Dandytown Hornets president, Western Star Sports Club president, Deval Boyle said, she was a great athlete. She done hockey. I wanted to get her to do football. So she's got some things in her.
She used to play football too.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. He thought she was good. She could have continued, but we'll ask her about that as well. Let's bring Maya Palacio in.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Maya. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. This conversation's got me kind of hyped. Like, you could obviously go on forever talking about how and what has affected us and what can benefit us. And like, I wrote down a couple of stuff when you guys are talking, like just thinking about body dysmorphia, or even when we get into like bad habits. When you might fall into like depression spells and pick up ice cream and cookies to make yourself feel better. And like, just yeah, it's a whole conversation that could keep going forever and ever.
Yeah.
No, it is. And I'm going to put you on the spot. I would love to know, and I know you're very busy, but I'd love to know what your audience on Media Maya, like what their thoughts are on this same question, because generations are different. And people my age versus someone who's like 15 years younger than me, they will respond to health differently, right? Like, again, my examples were blood pressure or cholesterol. A younger person might be, as it's been mentioned, carnivore or summer body, right? But what inspires them to want to get healthier? I'd love to know, even from the audience, just one thing. What inspires you to want to be healthier or do healthier things that are going to lead to a healthier lifestyle? But Maya, what are your thoughts personally? What are things that you believe we can do to develop a healthier population?
Yeah, I think for me, it is about just getting better habits. And again, talking to your friends and just starting out small with like someone that you're close with, whether it be a family member or a friend, and doing things together. Because when you're doing something with somebody, it's so much more encouraging to actually get things done than when you're trying to do something alone. And trying to change up a whole diet or routine is difficult to stay because we're creatures of habit. But like for me, and I know what's it, Mr. Marshall. I know like can agree to this. When you're an athlete for a long time, like I was in university doing university athletics and stuff, and then once that's over and you kind of have stopped doing that for a minute, your body changes, and you might like you see a huge difference, but not other people do. And that's just one example of like a type of body dysmorphia. And I know when the pandemic hit for me, I was like, what is going on with my body? Because like things just changed for me, and I started getting really like, I don't know if I can pick it up and be the same that I was. I'm not going to be at that level anymore. And it just got to me a lot where I stopped doing the things that I did normally. And I just like, again, bad habits. I started eating junk food and whatever to try to make myself feel better, because I'm just like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not an athlete anymore. And I started to treat my body badly. But man, trying to flip that back over was definitely difficult. But that's why I'm like, okay, well, the next time I feel bad with myself, I'm not going to pick up ice cream. I'm going to pick up something else. Maybe like I love frozen cranberries and putting a little bit of honey on it. So that's a little bit better. Like, I just switched what I'm buying to, go with my cravings of how I feel.
It's interesting, real quick. It's interesting that you said that, because you said that people haven't noticed, but you noticed. That happened to me, and then people started noticing. And Bermuda, small community, everybody wants to tell me that I'm getting a little belly now or something like that. And you just gotta take it on, and it's like, okay, well, I'm getting like that. So I see where you're coming from like that.
Yeah. And also in the household, I don't know if it's different for the men, but the women talking to women, or like in my family, I definitely got a lot of that from the other women. Like, oh my, you look different. You got a little bit thicker. Oh, don't get it. And I actually went into the store and someone actually told me, oh, make sure you don't gain any more weight than what you have. I'm like,
wow.
No. I'm just like, and I've been running again, so that made me feel really like bad. And then also when you are obviously on TV now and doing the media stuff, it also makes you think a lot more about what people think about how you look. So it's a lot of that.
Yeah, I've been through it, folks. I've been through it. But, yeah, it's a good conversation, and again, one we can continue to have. What you got in the news break for us today, Maya?
So in the news break this morning, so on Monday evening, there was actually a youth forum down in the west end of the island, and I spoke to some of the students who actually showed up at the forum. We talked a lot about the national youth policy and went through that, but I asked them how they felt about it and what their thoughts were. And this is a quick video of what they said.
I think it was very informative, as was the last two. The first one was more with the youth, about my age and a bit younger. And then the second one was more like 20s and stuff like that. And then now it's like parents and children. So it's different demographics, but it was very interesting.
Yes, it went well. I liked how they were really interested in our comments and us listening to what they were saying. So I liked it overall.
Did you learn anything new tonight that you didn't know before?
Not really. I mean, I met new people, but not necessarily learned any new information.
And what do you think about Owen Darrow as the newly appointed minister?
I think he's doing great. This is very innovative. I mean, I know I've only been here for 13 years, but I've never had anyone actually want to talk with me. One thing I would say would be take it an inch further was to go to the schools. And yes, not everyone's going to participate, but if you like broke us up and like talk to us in small groups, maybe you can get the full mass of everything.
But I would definitely recommend this, that they keep on doing more of this and spread it throughout the island.
Nice. Do you think that ministers should come into the schools more often?
Yes. They could do assemblies about this or something. School assemblies, yes.
I then asked Minister Darrell what he thought about the initiative of ministers going into the schools.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I found when she said she didn't learn anything new, I was like, man, I love young people. They are so honest. I honestly, like, I was like, she was real. She's no, I didn't really learn, but she came back. She's like, but I enjoyed, other things. But yeah, I'm glad that, and props to Minister Darrell. I think, and this is no shot. I don't know what Dr. Peets did wrong, and he didn't have to do anything wrong. But I think, Aaron Darrell been in the classroom. My hope is that helps him with his connection with young people as part of the youth policy. So, yeah, let's see where it goes.
And next up for them is actually going to be a virtual forum now, specifically for the university students who are away, because we have a huge issue. Mackenzie Coltucket said it in the House of Commons that Bermudians, we have this brain drain and a lot of students aren't coming back home. So hopefully this next forum, the virtual one, will help address that and see the needs of what university students need here in Bermuda. And up next, coming up from that, just leading off more youth engagement, the Department of Workforce and Development is now encouraging people who are interested to apply for the 2023 summer employment programs. That's mainly for full-time college students and university students, and the applications end in February 2022.
Maybe I should put in an application.
You're a full-time university student?
I mean, I can be.
It also says you must have a GPA of 2.7 and higher as well to apply. But I'm going to just say from my experience of like witnessing other friends and everyone, just apply. Apply regardless of your GPA.
That's discrimination. That's discrimination. I'm not. No. Okay. I'm been very public about this. My GPA didn't hit over 3.0 until I got to graduate school. That's why I had to do extra classes at Bermuda College just to get in graduate school. So I think not everyone's an academic. That doesn't mean they can't get in the workplace and do a good job. Come on, man. Forget that GPA stuff. No, if it was 1.0, maybe. Burp, you're on mute. So
You muted yourself.
Stop muting yourself.
Which is why she said, just apply.
Just apply.
I support Maya. It's damn.
Just apply.
Yeah.
Always apply. Put yourself out there. You never know what could happen. All right, coming up next in the story, this one's actually come from Burn News, from Stephen White, sports reporter. Bermudian distance runner Dej Miners says he hopes to win his second title this Friday night at the Front Street Mile. Miners was the first Bermudian to win the iconic Front Street Mile race in 2018 at a time of 4 minutes and 33 seconds. He actually beat that time the next time he actually came second place in 2010. But regardless, so there's going to be quite an exciting race that's going to come up indeed this Friday.
Yeah, big up yourself, Dej. You know, that one that used to be, to me, that was one of my favorite events in Bermuda, this Front Street Mile, because it was so intimate. The crowd, I don't know, I liked it for some. I really did. But you never ran as an adult, but you ran as a child, right?
I ran 4 years in high school. Came back.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall. Should have won it.
How was the experience for you though? Like, did you?
It's nothing like as a child coming out and hearing the crowd cheering for you when you're getting ready to line up on the line. And I think it's such a valuable experience for those young people that are able to experience that.
Okay.
I love that. I have quite horror stories when it comes to Front Street Mile. I think Larry would remember that on the day of trying to qualify for it, I was like, nope, I can't do it.
Yeah, you didn't show in it. Yeah,
I showed. Yeah. I was there. I just got
like,
so nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was like talking to my mama up the Arboretum Fresh. She was trying to like encourage me, and I was just like, I can't do it. And like, it's the most nerve-wracking ones. Short distances, man.
But see, Flora had a similar story. Dame Flora had a similar story about the 400 meters. So look, all people look at you both now. Look at you both now. What else you got for us, Maya?
Next up on the list, so for the final thing, you may have remembered that I did a voting poll on here about PDA in Bermuda and how we show very lack of PDA on the island. Well, I spoke to Kavina LaRae. She's a sex educator, a holistic sex educator on the island, and we had a small clip about it. There's a long interview on my YouTube channel, about 15 minutes, but here's a 50-second clip about how that interview went down.
As a community, we are super conservative, even though it's fake. I'm sorry. Even though it's fake, because behind closed doors, everybody's a little different, but we're super conservative, and that just trickles down. And I think public display of affection is just one of the ways that it trickles down. But if we were to address that, we would have to address a much larger problem, which is that we like to pretend that sex doesn't exist, which is why sex education here is almost non-existent, which is why, you know, people are making uninformed decisions, because when they do have sex education, it's not comprehensive enough, and it becomes a yuck thing, you know. It's we don't talk about it's yuck. So then when I see somebody kissing in public, it's yuck, even though I'm a grown adult.
I'm not big on public PDA. I'm not. I'm going to be honest with you. It has nothing to do with anyone else, though.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Harvey.
It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's just, I don't know. It's for me, it's a thing about, you know, just certain things for me are private. I don't know. It has nothing to do with anyone else, though. I honestly could care less.
I encourage you guys to watch the full interview, because obviously the topic is PDA, but we really go underneath about how, like, we don't teach about any sort of affection, even within the household. You might not see it. So what happens when you go into a relationship? It gets longer. Anyway, to close up the news, I just want you guys to know that Lindo's group of company has announced that their weekly discount days will be moved to just Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So that's when you get your discounts at Lindo's. And the weather today is looking kind of cloudy with the chances of a few showers. And we got a high of like 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Larry, I swear.
He just gave you the censure. He just gave the censure. You got days of the year for us.
I do. Today is Take the Stairs Day, which I think helps us with what we've been talking about. January is the start of the new year, and it can be a great time to build new habits. National Take the Stairs Day is a great way to make a small change that can have a big impact.
So yes, I am not an elevator person. Well, when I was working in New York, I had no choice going up so many. But yes, I'm one of a few people at my office. We are on the 4th floor. So I go up about 8 flights every day. I do. I try to go make sure that I go downstairs during my lunch break, even if I have nothing to go down for, just to walk back up. So I make this an everyday thing. It makes a difference. Trust me, I'm out of breath. My boss be like, but didn't you jog this morning? I'm like, it's a big difference coming up to work than it is jogging. If Florida's flat. It's time for that joke you all wanted. Everybody, you wanted the joke? Joke of the morning?
This is it. We're ready for it.
All right.
Maya's not.
Here we go. We've got John Huff coming up from ABIR. We're going to get, we're a bit behind, but I'm sure he's going to appreciate this joke as well. All right, here we go. Why can't the bank manager ride a bike anymore?
Yeah, go ahead.
He lost his balance.
I get the dry humor. I like it. So, yeah. I'm a hypist, Maya. I encourage the nonsense.
Yeah, I see you and your fake laugh.
Maya, have a wonderful day.
Have a great day, guys.
All right.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with John Huff from ABIR. We're talking about that great relationship that they have with Bermuda College. Folks, you do not want to miss this conversation. You might know someone or yourself who may be able to benefit from it. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All righty, welcome back to the Big Show. Larry Marshall Jr. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and Mac, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you don't know, you no longer need social media to tune in to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. All you need to do is go on our website, thedailyhour.com, and we are streaming live every day. You can catch us. But without further ado, let's bring in our guest. We're a bit behind. We've got John Huff back on the show. He's from ABIR, and he is discussing the program, third year for the insurance reinsurance course, virtual course with Bermuda College. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show. All right, they go crazy for people these days. Happy 2023 to you.
Happy New Year, Jamel and Larry. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem, no problem. Thank you for coming. I mean, I think we have a decent relationship. You come back. It's important. People come back, that means they like you a bit. But let's jump right into it. For those who've never seen you before on the show, sorry for them, but just tell us a bit about your background.
Sure. I'm a former insurance commissioner from the state of Missouri in the U.S. I've been with ABIR, the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Re-insurers, for 5 years now. And I love the conversation you just had about improving your health for the new year and kind of goals and resolutions. What we're going to talk about today is really how do you include your career health and your professional development. And we have a great course that's being offered now for the third year, and in conjunction with the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Re-insurers, ABIR, Bermuda College, and St. John's University in New York, which is one of the premier risk management schools. So ABIR's the collective group of the largest and leading insurers and reinsurers on island. And this year, Jamel, ABIR is celebrating its 30th anniversary.
Nice. Congratulations. There's got to be a party in there. Speaking of it, you mentioned it's the third year of the Foundations in Insurance Reinsurance virtual course. What's the purpose of the program for those who don't know?
So the course is really an introduction to insurance and reinsurance. If anyone has ever wondered what goes on in those buildings down off Front Street in Bermuda, and what are they doing to impact the world, really, this is a great introduction to our industry. And this is probably one of the silver linings that came out of COVID. We envisioned this course 3 years ago where it would just be maybe 15 or 20 Bermuda College students hearing from executives in our sector. What happened is we had to flip the switch and go virtual. And what we found was when we designed this course 3 years ago, it will be continuous this year, starting next Monday, January 16th, that we did it in the evening. And because we do it virtual, anyone can join. So it's not just 15 or 20 students that may be doing it for college credit. It's anyone that might be interested in the industry generally. The course is underwritten by ABIR, so it's free to all participants. And you can register just on our website at abir.bm.
Don't want to say everything in once. Conversation, but you said it basically is geared towards anyone. So you're saying that someone who's absolutely has never worked in the insurance reinsurance space can sign up. If I'm a bartender and I just want to learn about it, I can sign up.
Absolutely. You can sign up for individual weeks once you see the schedule. The first week, next Monday, kicks off with Premier Burt and the chair of ABIR, Pina Albo, who, by the way, is the first female chair of ABIR in the last 30 years. She just took office January 1st. And then economist Craig Simmons, who I know is joining your show on Friday. We'll talk a little bit about the program then, but they're going to kick it off this Monday evening and talk about the importance of this industry to Bermuda and what they have to offer for Bermudians.
Nice.
Okay. You talked about any and everyone can join, but are there any prerequisites or requirements for the program? Should somebody read up on something?
So we've had a college, high school students in the past that do the joint programs with Bermuda College. So someone who's ready to take that next step in their professional development. And then we've had many folks that are perhaps in another industry. They may be in hospitality or they may be in the retail sector, but they have some interest in possibly staying in Bermuda, and they realize this is a very large sector of the Bermuda economy, and they're interested in learning more. Many times people think to join an insurance or reinsurance company, you have to be an underwriter or an accountant, but there are many positions within these companies, administration positions, a job in HR, for instance. So there are quite a few opportunities within the sector.
Very interesting. You spoke about a few of the leaders, Premier Brett and Craig Simmons. Who are some of the other, say, C-suite leaders who will be leading the course?
So we've just confirmed some of these C-suite leaders, which I think is what makes this course so successful, because you're hearing from people on the ground that are making decisions every day and building out this industry. So as I said, Premier Byrd, Pina Albo, and Craig Simmons will kick off this Monday, January 16th. And then January 23rd will be a very special course because Kathy Duffy, who many of you know, she's the Bermuda leader for AIG. She literally wrote the book on the Bermuda insurance reinsurance sector and why it started here and what it's done to Bermuda's economy and what it's done for Bermudians. She wrote the book and published the book, and then she'll share with the participants her knowledge of the history of the industry on January 23rd. We have a great course scheduled on climate resilience from our friends at Renaissance Re that will be really of interest to folks as we look at the changes, the frequency and severity of natural catastrophes and what that might mean to the sector. We have a course on international reinsurance from the folks at Sirius Point. And then we have a speaker from St. John's University, Dr. Mark Brown, who will come and talk about the underwriting cycle. There's this great section on captive insurance, on life and annuities, which is a growing sector. The CEO of Hanover Re in Bermuda will lead that presentation. And a couple others I'll just mention really quickly. A section on collateralized reinsurance, which is just a type of a product. The role of regulation. We're very fortunate to have the Bermuda Monetary Authority, and there are quite a few jobs and available positions within the authority. So hear about regulation and the importance of that. And then finally, there's going to be a course on legacy portfolios or runoff, which is kind of a new hot area in the sector. About running off portfolios. And there's a significant company on island called Fortitude Re, and they'll lead in that discussion.
Very interesting. We spoke about a lot of different things and whatnot, but what can participants expect to gain from registering?
Well, I've been in the industry for over 25 years, and I participate every Monday evening. The course starts at 6 o'clock, and again, it's offered virtually. I learn something every evening, whether it's individual learnings from the subject matter experts, or there are some very practical sessions as well. There's a session later on in the semester about insurance careers, using LinkedIn and other social media to network. So very practical suggestions. There's a very strong session on diversity, equity, and inclusion led by Judy Gonzalez at Chubb, who's the local CEO here for Chubb. She brings in her leading DEI expert within the Chubb organization. And so that will be a good session as well. So there's something for everyone.
Yeah, right. So where can anyone who's interested sign up to or learn more about this?
So the easiest way to sign up is to go to our website, abir.bm, abir.bm. And then if you want to send any individual questions, I'm sure Craig Simmons will answer those on Friday, or send him a direct email. He's given me permission to give you his email. It's cfs@college.bm. So it's C as in Craig, F as in Frank, S as in Simmons, cfs@college.bm.
Okay.
I love this conversation because, as you know, there was a large hotel in Bermuda, the largest one, closed a couple of years ago, and it left a lot of people out of work. I met with a CEO in this space when I was in Bermuda, well, a couple of people in this space while I was in Bermuda in December. And as I was leaving one of the offices, I bumped into someone who was in a completely different field. And we just got to talking on the sidewalk, and everything you're saying, she's done, like even right down to the networking part on LinkedIn. And she's moved away from a space and into this space. And it's because of things like this. And I just say that because I want people, even if you're already in the space or that you may not feel this is for you, you may know someone who can benefit from this. I can't thank Bermuda College and ABIR enough for really putting something like this on, because when we say, oh, there's no opportunities, this is an opportunity. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. Yeah.
And I would like to just piggyback on that, because we often talk about continuing education, and I'm coming from the teaching profession. Not everyone has gone to university and whatnot. So, putting something on that's for everyone, it's a learning opportunity for everyone. I don't think that often happens, and I really hope that people learn more about it and take advantage of it.
Yeah. And one last question before you go. Is there a limit? Obviously, it's virtual, but is there a limit, like a cutoff point, or it's just as many people as possible?
So we had a limit on the number of Zoom participants, and we just raised it. We paid Zoom a higher fee to raise the participants. So last year on one of the sessions, we had over 300 participants. Wow. So wow. We're thrilled to have people join. And this is just, of course, one part of this program between Bermuda College, St. John's, and ABIR. We also have a summer internship program, and I'm pleased to say 2022 was just off the charts in that sense. I remember companies had 91 summer interns from Bermuda students, and many of those students came from this course.
Thank you for that. Michelle White, she says, the insurance industry has absorbed so many displaced Bermudians. Jump at this opportunity. Yes, I know of many people whose transferable skills and attributes lended them opportunities in insurance and reinsurance. Real quickly, just, and not to put you on the spot, just while you're here, just really share with people some of the opportunities that lie within insurance and reinsurance that they may not know.
Well, there are many opportunities. Of course, the core of insurance and reinsurance is the underwriting process. What risk do you bind on behalf of the company? And when you think about the Bermuda market, we are very well known for our coverage of natural catastrophes. Our industry will cover about $13 billion worth of losses from Hurricane Ian in Florida. So sometimes we don't think about that jurisdictional pride of how much Bermuda is really contributing to helping families and communities recover from a natural catastrophe event. But even opportunities, and thanks for raising it, Larry, it's not just people that maybe want to go in the traditional underwriting or claims or accounting part of business, but think about, because this sector is such a large part of the fabric of Bermuda, where individual businesses or entrepreneurs might take advantage of the opportunities. I'll give you an example. One of our companies serves lunch every day for its employees. And what they do is they rotate restaurants and they have a committee that picks the restaurant. Well, if you're an entrepreneur and have a local restaurant, wouldn't you like to get on that list and serve lunch maybe once a month to those employees? And those are the types of opportunities you might not think of that are available in the insurance sector.
Interesting.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for this. Honestly, always appreciate you. I think we need to have you on definitely more than just once a year. Just to keep people aware, because things happen throughout the year. People may not, they may lose jobs. They may feel like they've lost hope in Bermuda. And I'm glad you mentioned about the summer internship, and there's scholarships that you guys offer. Where can people learn more about ABIR itself, and if they were looking for direction, how can they get in touch?
Well, the best source is our website, ABIR.bm. And we're active and in the community. And thanks for all that talk about New Year's resolutions, because I try to do my front street walk every morning, head east.
That's the one.
No problem. One last question before you go. Michelle White's asking, John, what new areas of business are coming?
Yeah, the hottest new trends are in the specialty lines. So because we've always been known for natural catastrophe covering hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes, but much of the growth right now is coming in specialty lines, and that may be cyber, which we could do a whole show on cyber insurance and reinsurance, casualty lines, political terrorism, just some exciting work in those spaces.
All righty. John Huff, ABIR, thank you so much for having this conversation, and please don't be a stranger.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, if you appreciated that conversation, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. These conversations so helpful. Please make sure if you know someone, even if you don't think you know someone, if you know people, just let them know about this opportunity. It can be helpful. It may change someone's fortunes just like that, but they got to put the work in. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us. We'll be right back. We'll have the daily play and then we'll wrap it up. This is a fun daily play and all of you better know this answer.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty, welcome back. Thanks again to John Huff from ABIR. Big props to Bermuda College and ABIR for doing what they do for the community. Thanks again to One Communications, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy, and MMAC for ensuring we can have these conversations with you. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Larry, are you ready?
I am.
All
Why
right.
I didn't get the Jesse Owens one?
Well,
All right.
you know, I'm just saying, you could have had it. All right, it's music today. Here we go. What Bermudian artist has a song and album titled Reggae Highway?
Oh, no. Yeah, no clue. Gollybuds. Reggae album? Live Wire.
Yeah,
strictly broke it down. It's just straight gas.
He did process of elimination. It's like,
What they taught you. That's what they taught you in school.
Yep, process of elimination. When you see those, there's what's those things called? The multiple choice. When you see that, like can't do this. That's all people. What's that show called? How to Be a Millionaire. That's how they did it. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
Medium Maya said Hubert. No, it's not Hubert. The answer is Original Live
Wire.
Mitchell Live Wires Trot. He has.
So I didn't even really know it, but I'm the first one to get it right for the year, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Actually, yeah, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's battle of the sexes, ladies 0, fellas 1. Phil, let's see what you got tomorrow, brother. Wrap it up. Final thoughts on today's discussion, and then our focus with the guests.
Definitely was encouraged by Mr. Huff and the words he had. I definitely encourage people to get out there and do something different. If you don't know people and you're looking for a change or something new, or have young kids that school age ready for this, I think these types of things that they're putting on are very important for the community. As it comes with building a healthier Bermuda, I think we all touched on some very positive things. But my thing is, do what you can do for yourself. It all starts with self. what are some of the things you could control? Control the controllables for yourself. And once you improve that, we should start to see some benefits.
Indeed, indeed. I just want to say, as far as creating a healthier population, it really does, again, it comes back to accountability. It really does start with each and every one of us. Going back, we asked, what inspires people, individuals to want to be healthy. And Karen Simmons earlier, she said, getting a better report from my doctor inspires me. That's me, honestly. Michelle White says, being and eating healthy means having less body pains. No, we're inspired in different ways. If carnival inspires you, just act like there's a carnival every month, right?
Yeah.
If having a summer body inspires you, just think of you living in a summer destination like the Caribbean year round, or like you want to take that warm destination trip. There's ways to do it. I always say, whether it's grief, handling things differently, it can be how we celebrate things differently, how we manage our diets differently. One thing is for sure, we all have goals. How we go about achieving those and maintaining whatever those goals are is of importance. As far as John Huff, I can't thank the Bermuda College and ABIR enough for the work that they're doing. I am a believer that, I've worked in different industries. You've worked in different industries, Larry. I know what it's like to go into a new industry. And my words to anyone who may have lost a job recently, or not even lost a job, but just not in love or passionate about where they are currently, and they're looking for a new direction. This is a free virtual course. You may find something that you've always been looking for. I encourage you to check it out. You got some daily inspiration for us, Bert?
I do, but I'm gonna switch it up because the conversation helped inspire me, but I need some explanation, so work with me. In the athletics field, stress is used as activity. So once you do any activity, you're putting stress on the body. So when I use the term stress, it's not I'm stressing out, it just means simple activity. So the quote comes from a gentleman who wrote a book, Brad Kohlberg, I believe his name is, and it simply means rest plus stress equals growth. And I take that a lot. And I think, with our topic this morning about a healthier us, get the rest, stress your body, give you activity, and then we should see some growth.
Yeah, I like that one. And he's right about stress, because I was just going to say, you all, I do have monthly appointments to get my massages, because you're putting stress on your body to stay in shape and or maintain something. You need to take care of your body as well, not just in how it looks or how your doctor tells you feel. All right, it's that time. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and Mac, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Larry Marshall Jr. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.